Saturday, July 12th, 2025. We've just done a short video update on Frank's El Camino. We're going to upload it shortly. We'll be doing a longer horizontal one. After a while, we're going to be putting the oil cooling lines, replacing oil cooling lines on this 2000 Chevrolet Express 2500, 5.7 liter, the old 350 V8. We'll be doing that today. We may get the rear shocks on it too, I'm not sure. But just a couple of short things about Frank's thing. He's got his El Camino. He's got his air conditioning unit. He doesn't have it in yet. He's getting all that stuff ready. Fabricated some firewall for that. Got his motor mount spot welded in. He's got his pistons in his 454 full bolt. I wasn't here when he put those in. Got his heads back, oval port, 454 heads, triple springs, not double springs. He has putting and he's got it cut and fitted 59 Chevrolet dash into this El Camino. He's had to cut some off at each end. He had to cut some off the front. He's having to modify it for these dash vents. He's changing up the glove box and all this set up for his AC vents. He's got some really high quality, really nice AC vents. I don't see them right now. I'll get them in the next video, but right now he doesn't have a transmission for it yet. That's a L460 or 4L60E, I think. It may be a 4L70. But anyway, we're going to get started on replacing these cooling lines in this one right now. The first thing we're going to be doing is pulling this air filter off. We're probably going to be losing some antifreeze. I need to get to these lines, remove that hose, get it out of the way. We shouldn't lose too much antifreeze with that, or we can get to these oil cooling lines. First thing we're going to do is go underneath there, take the little clips out, and try to remove them from the mount that goes into the block. These ends should have O-rings on them. I haven't opened them up yet, but it looks like they've got O-rings on them. And that way we'll let that oil drain out and then come up here and try to get everything disconnected and replaced, and hopefully that'll stop our oil leak for the biggest part. And always, Shop Cat will be supervising all work and certifying that it is done, well, to the best of the people doing its ability, whether it's right or wrong. Get it, Shop Cat. From feral cat to Shop Cat, she has turned into an absolutely excellent Shop Cat. Couldn't ask for a better Shop Cat. Okay, first thing we're going to need is a 10 millimeter for these 3 bolts and a flathead screwdriver, either 5/16. But if we disconnect that, and for that water hose, we'll see what we do with that. I get criticized sometimes for not showing everything, but some stuff is just obvious. But anyway, let's get that air filter off and see what kind of access we've got to these lines up here from up top. These lines going into the radiator. Okay, I think we may be able to get to these without having to remove that radiator hose. It would make it easier, but you can see we've slid back the little cover. There's a little rubber grommet cover over these clamps. These are just C clamps. This should be a quick connect. We're going to use one of these little hooks, hopefully, to snag at and pull it out. And then that quick connect should come out. Now what we're going to do first, though, is go underneath and do that to the two underneath, the lower and top one, and let the oil drain out of those hoses. You can see them down there. One or both of them are leaking, and they're leaking back where I cannot see whether it's the hose. It's a rubber hose. I don't know whether it's that connection right there. I think it's got a hole rubbed in one of those hoses somewhere. So we'll be doing that, but we're going to disconnect those bottom clamps first and let the oil drain out. Okay, there are the two lines coming into the block that's mounted on the engine block. And as you can see, they don't have that little protective cover on them. They didn't get put back when they replaced this engine. So we're going to use those little hooks and see if we can't pull these clamps out and then replace them, or let the oil drain out. Main thing we've got to do here is make sure that we get the replacement lines back in the right place. And so this one, we need to make sure this one that goes as closest to the engine is the straight one coming in, and the other one with the crook goes in, and it is the top one. I'm not sure how this is gonna work. I'm using the Osmo Action 5, and it may try to flip these things. I don't know. Okay, let's get our oil pan, our drain pan, and disconnect those and see if we can't. We need to figure out which one is the bottom one going into the radiator and do it first. And that way most or all of that oil will drain out. So we need to figure that out first. Okay, before you can get those cooling lines off, you've got to take these two clamps off. You'll see them, you'll recognize them. I'll just give you some information. They're both 1/2 inch, or mine are 1/2 inch. That doesn't mean yours will be. But yeah, the hoses aren't going to go through these two clamps until you get them off. And they're difficult to get to, but you can get to them. I turned that wheel, the driver's side wheel, out so I could have more room to get in there and get to the top of this one. So now we're going to take those lines loose. Okay, this is the well, I say
Jackson, it is kind of amazing what you've done here, honestly.
this is the lower oil cooling line. This goes in the front. This goes in at the mounting block back at the engine. They did not come with O-rings on these. I thought the O-ring would be on there. I did not buy the fittings that they connect to. So we'll have to see. We may have to have the fittings before we finish this. But it's a Dorman part. I got it from O'Reilly, and there's the oil cooler line Dorman part for the 2000 2500 5.7. I suspect it's the same for the 3500 and also probably the 5.3, but I don't know. So, and also you have to get both of these clamps off. Both of them are 1/2 inch. So we're going to take and they come with the new retaining clips. It says not to use the old retaining clips, so we're going to take these lines off now. We're going to take the bottom line off down there, and then take the top line off up here, and that way hopefully the oil will drain out through that bottom one, and then when it gets drained out, we'll go ahead and start replacing them. Okay, here's the Dorman part for the oil cooling line, not trans cooler, oil cooling line. This one goes in the top of the radiator up here. This is the top connector. They do not have O-rings on them. The fittings have a rubber seal or an O-ring in them. I wish I had bought the fittings, but I cannot find the 4 fittings. So I think normally I wouldn't, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and put these hoses back in and not clamp them down until I see that they're not going to leak. And then if they don't leak, we'll go ahead and put those 2 retaining clamps back on. But we'll go ahead and stick these hoses back in with the little C-clamps. The clamps do come, the new clamps do come with them, and they say not to use the old ones, and I can see why. They spring out. You need to use the new ones. And I just got in there with that little tip. I got in there with a pick and got it started, and then pulled it out. So let's just go ahead and put these back on, and hopefully that will take care of our oil leak. Okay, we're having a hard time finding the fittings. It'll be maybe Tuesday before we can get all of them. So we're going to go ahead and just put these hoses back on. We won't put the clamps back on and clamp them down until we crank it up and check, make sure it's not leaking. If it's leaking, we'll take the hoses, disconnect the hoses again, and get the fittings. But right now we're just going to put the hoses back on. Okay, we've got them back in. We ran the lines back down. We put that plastic cover over that lower radiator hose. We've got them hooked up. The little clips were the most aggravating thing to deal with. I can't tell if you're seeing that or not. Can't tell what you're seeing. There we go. Running those lines back down through there. And then putting the little plastic retainers back up on them too, sliding it up on them too. If it leaks, we're going to go get 4 fittings, which would probably be Monday, Tuesday, before we can get back on it and finish it or redo it. Okay, we're going to crank it up, see about leaks, get all this stuff out of the way. We'll go ahead and put the air filter back on, but we're not clamping it back down yet. If it doesn't leak, we'll clamp it back down once the engine cools back down. If it does leak, we're going to go get 4 fittings and redo it. If we can find the fittings, we'll do it tomorrow. If not, Monday, Tuesday, whenever we can do it. We'll be fiddling around with the Jeep, the 97 Jeep, probably not the 95, but we'll be fiddling around with that 98 van up there too. I don't think it was recording the last time. Don't see any leaks yet, or hopefully we don't see any leaks. Nothing leaking yet. We'll check it out a little bit. We're going to let it run and then we'll check it out. hopefully that'll take care of it.